now. And I will highlight you, Maureen. Where are you?
I've got the no face thing. There we go. I figure if I have everybody looking at my desktop here, they won't see the rest of the room.
Worry.
Any she shed that I do or craft room will look like a bomb went off of it even 2 minutes after I think I cleaned up.
That's what a shed should look like.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we're building this here. Actually, I've got one I painted.
Oh, I love that.
Good.
So that's, I've done the wheels and a couple of different colors here. Let's see, where's the camera? So, it depends on what you want to do for the bottom for painting. If you want like a silver, the original Michael's one this is based on had the, what's holding the wheel in silver. You could make it the paint of your, same color as your cart. Really you could do either. I like it with the same color as the cart.
Yeah.
Than the silver. I used it. This is a silver pen, like a Sharpie. If you want to dull it, you color it on and you just wipe it off a bit and it'll dull it down. But so that's what we're building today. And I'm going to show the 1-inch model because that's the only thing that really can be seen. So you got your pieces. I call this the frame. And you've got your 3 baskets. And you got your 4 wheels. So the first thing I'm going to do is a bit of sanding. I've sanded it a bit. You can see on the bottom of the frame, there's a cut like as the printer makes, the 3D printer makes, you may end up with a little bit more of a spot you may want to sand on the bottom of the frame. And then you want to sand the sides, the edges here and along, because you'll get a little bit of the printer I use is a plastic base, so it's a corn-based plastic, and you can see the layers if you don't paint carefully or put a primer on and things and do some sanding. If you leave it plain, which is what I did with this one to see what would happen, 3 layers of paint. It works well on the baskets. What I find on the sides, you get a little bit more of the layered look, but you probably can't see with the camera, but that, for your information as you go forward. So if you spend a bit of time sanding these to smooth it out. So you can use this. There's all sorts of tools, any sandpaper, and just, you're cleaning it up. So that kind of thing. So, and you can feel like just see if it's a little smoother. You'll find this plastic is slightly different than the resin that Ruth Stewart did. Hers will have a smoother finish than what this does. Just different types of printers. And then I sanded the outside of the baskets. The bottom, it is a little rougher, but if you want to sand it, but it's not something you're going to see a lot of, and the inside's fairly smooth. So I found that you needed to sand the edges here at the top because they may have a little bit of roughness or unfinished, like an uneven surface. So you may want to just touch those up. So that's what I've been doing, and anybody has any questions, just ask. I may not have an answer, but I'll take a question. So Sunny worked ahead and she had some really good tips of how to figure out where to how to glue the baskets on. I'm going to be using this super glue gel for this demo because it grabs quickly. I have used tacky glue. It takes a while longer for it to dry and it still holds it very solid. Sunny said she tried Tester. How did that work for you, Sunny?
Oh, so what time was that? I was texting you or emailing you like around 1:30.
Yeah, about 2 o'clock or so, yeah.
Well, I've got mine here and because you have to use so little of the tester's glue, they just want you to put a thin skin on one side, right?
Yeah,
With the roundness of the two sides of the frame, it doesn't fill the gap well enough. Like it's stuck right now, but if I push on the basket, it moves a little bit. So I don't think there's enough glue, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, you do need to put a fairer chunk because yeah, you're right about on the frame itself, it is rounded
Yes.
on all sides. So I'm going to be using the super glue. I have found that the tacky glue does work. It just takes time. It's a super glue gel, like exactly like what Ruth Stewart was talking about. So Sunny had a great idea about how to find the center of the baskets. Make a pattern of the basket. So I use the top side because it's not quite as rounded as the bottom. So I made a pattern on a piece of paper, cut it out. You can fold it in half, and that'll give you your center point of where the basket is. Now, the width of the frame, the post going up, is 1/4 inch. So, and I'll be sending out another note with some of these measurements. So the 1/4 inch, and so it's 1/8 on each side. So on the piece of paper, don't know if you can see it, probably not, is I have a couple of markers so I know when I mark the basket where center is and where it will fit on the frame. So that's one of the first steps you're going to want to do, is make yourself a pattern, or if you've got other ideas of how you can find the center of your basket,
But
that one
Maureen,
works. I'm one of these, do the eyeballing. It looks about center. So I'm not
But
a
Maureen-
precision miniaturist.
sorry, I just wanted to say, Maureen, that you can just mark, like take a ruler and mark the center on the side and just mark it with a pencil. You're gonna paint it anyways, right?
Yes, yeah, you can use pencil, and that's exactly the point. So you're going to mark where the center is, so you know where you're lining it up when you glue it on to the frame. So that's what I'm going to be doing, is marking my center. So I know approximately, and I'm just using the top. I'm going to use that as my place, and I can mark the two sides so I know approximately where center is when I glue the basket in. Now the next after this, and it's going to be, where do all the baskets go and how you want to deal with that. So what I did is I like, if you look at the Michaels unit, the top basket is slightly below the top edge. So I went down 1/16 of an inch. On the bottom side, I went up 1/8 of an inch. Because if you go down too close to the bottom here, you're going to see it's going to end up being gluing where it's the curvature is. So I wanted to make sure I was well above that height. So I get out the old trusty ruler and mark my top and bottom. So what I did is I put the ruler, I leaned it against the back or the bottom of the frame so I can be level with the top of the bottom of the top. So like I'm an Irish person. Okay, so 1/8 on the bottom. And the pencil marks you're going to paint over, as Teresa talked about. And then I'm going to mark the 1/8 at the top. So that gives me my top and bottom. You can choose wherever you want the top and bottom of the cart. It's all depends what you want to put inside the cart for heights. because for heights in here, because you may have something that's taller, so you may want to put one of the baskets lower. That's your choice. And then to mark the center, I took the distance in between these two, which in my case is basically 1 and what did I say it was? 1 and 15/16. How's that? Almost 2 inches. So the center of that, if it's almost 2 inches, the center is basically 1 inch less a little. So then I marked the center as to where I want the middle basket to go. So that's what I did. So for the center one, that would end up being the middle of the basket. For the bottom, let's start the bottom. So in the bottom, I'm just going to use that line that I marked as to where the bottom of the basket will go. For the top, I'm going to use the top line, and I will be marking both sides of my frame. I just haven't yet. So for the middle, right now my mark is for the middle of the basket. So it's kind of hard to see where you're gluing if you want it exactly middle. So this basket is 5/16 inch deep. So this right here is 5/16 inch. So take half of that, 5/32, and you're going to mark that on either side of your middle basket line. So then that kind of gives me, oh, that's not going to make sense. Sorry about that. But basically you're going to take half of that and mark your two sides where you want it, which you can just put your basket right on top and mark it too. And you see it, or you can do exact. I'm not an exact scientist, so and then I'm going to flip it over and do the same markings on the other side. Get my bottom marked and get my top marked and get the middle marked. And then it's glue. So I'm going to start at the bottom. I've been putting the glue on the frame. You can, or on the basket, it really doesn't actually, I'm going to do it on the basket. And because of the, as Sunny talked about, because of the fact that the frame has rounded edges, you have to put enough on to make sure you have a surface covered. And then you put it in there, you line it up. You're going to line it up with the center of what the basket you marked, which I do have those points on there. So I have my center marked and my edges marked. And then you have to make sure you have it straight up and down on your lines that you made, which a lot of things to watch. Sorry, I'm getting out of the sight of the camera.
What's the name of the glue again, Maureen?
It's super glue gel.
Yeah, but
LePage's super glue gel. It's any of the brands, I think, are all pretty well the same as far as I know.
there are
You can
actually so
also
many
use your
different kinds of.
tacky, probably your well bond as well. It just takes a little longer to dry
Yeah.
because I have used tacky,
Okay.
and it just means you'll have to have it let it sit a while longer.
It's just because
And
there are
even
so
the
many
super
different.
glue, sometimes it holds if you put enough on, and because I really don't like using super glue. So then I hold it for a few minutes. Keep checking to see if it hasn't, if it's still saying basically aligned. And that's where the eyeballing comes into effect, because it sometimes things move on you. And it's not going to glue this time. And you play with super glue too many times and it doesn't hold, does it?
Does it help to use a hairdryer in this case, do you think?
No. Well,
No.
you could, but I don't do that.
Just a suggestion.
Yeah, but some people say that heat makes things unmelt, but it's not with super glue, right? Like, I mean, I don't know.
I honestly don't know for super glue.
If you want your super glue to dry quickly, use a zip kicker.
Okay.
Okay.
There's stuff that I use on pen making, and it's called CA glue.
Okay.
It comes with an accelerant.
Oh, okay.
You put that on, put your stuff where you want it, spray it, just a light touch, and it's froze.
Okay, thanks you.
On one of the,
CA is in capital C, capital A.
Yeah, yeah.
And you get
it's,
that at Hobby Wholesale or places like that?
No, I got it at Busy Bee,
Oh, okay.
Busy Bee Tools on the West End.
Oh, I see.
and I've
They come in
people
different
use,
sizes.
I've heard people use baking soda
No,
on super glue, and it dries fast with it. I've never tried it, so I don't know.
But what do you mean, Mark? Like you mix the baking soda with the super
No,
glue?
from what I understand, you glue it and then you sprinkle baking soda on where the glue and the join is.
Oh, really?
Baking soda,
Interesting.
and then they said you just blow the baking soda away.
Interesting.
So
Okay, so there's your the bottom basket.
great. That's good.
Okay. So we're going to do the same thing. What I found is I do the top next so that when I'm looking at the middle, I can have a little more control, but it's whichever way you want to do it. The big discussion we'll be having is about painting, and if anybody has any things that they've discovered, I'd love to hear it, because I'm still very much in the learning phase of painting the plastic. So I'm just marking my basket.
have you tried the car painting?
You can, yeah, that, the big thing they talk about is using a primer like the car, or I'm just going to let it dry a little bit. So I have this stuff, which is a surface primer.
Oh, yeah.
This is from Hobby Wholesale.
Oh, yeah.
And it's, what this is it's made for plastics and a surface primer. So it'll help deal with the imperfections of the, here, I'll move it up a bit. Nope. It helps deal with the imperfections of the 3D modeling, makes it smoother. You can put it on, you can sand it, and I have used it on a few things, but this is about an $8 or $9 for a bottle.
Oh.
So I don't want to, I'm trying to find ways of what people use, what we have around here that people have a lot of. So I'm going to glue my top one in now with the super glue. And I put quite a few drops on because it doesn't have a lot of surface to grab.
I have used the baking soda with super glue and it works really well, but it does leave a bit of a rough surface.
Oh, does
Yeah,
it?
I was actually thinking exactly about that, Carol, when Mark said it. You can sand that probably after, but you have to have special size, file to get into the corners and crack.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can file it off or sand it off.
Okay, so there's your top one. It's just gluing. And like I say, with the plastic or with I have been very effective with regular tacky glue. It just takes longer to hold. So I'm trying to make it so we don't have to buy too many things. So gonna let that dry for a few minutes before I do anything. And mark the next basket.
The thing that takes the longest time is probably the painting, right, Maureen?
Yes. Definitely take the painting, because the biggest thing, most of us are used to painting on wood.
Yeah.
Wood absorbs paint, especially on the first coat. Plastic does not absorb anything.
No, it
So the
repels
first
it.
coat you put on, you want to make it really thin. It's almost a base coat.
Mhm.
And then you sand and refine that. I sand it a bit to smooth it out. And I have a couple of suggestions for putting on for the base coat. That'll help provide some of the same thing that the super primer glue or the super prime paint that I have used. Some of the things, and one of them was when we did the cabin of Tina's quarter scale cabin. Gesso. I don't have gesso, but that was one of the things that was suggested, and you just have to let it take longer to dry than what you think it will. Because the plastic isn't, the first layer, it's not being absorbed like what we have with wood. Now it sounds like Nikki, one of our new members, does a fair bit of painting in plastic, so she might be able to give us some neat ideas as to what.
Maureen, I'm finding I'm gluing the next two baskets in now, and I'm finding that my frame isn't tight at the top, like it's, you know what I mean, it's sprung. It's sprung, so unless I'm holding it, the baskets aren't touching one side, so I'm gonna put a baggy
I
tie.
pinched it for about 2 minutes with 3 shelves in, and it stuck nicely.
Okay.
I just had to pinch in the middle and it got all 3 shelves.
But I might just put a baggy tie, or whatever around there.
Yep. Like I say, yeah, it's the baskets are all the same size as it goes up. You know, the printer in the case of the printer I have, it builds from the plastic from the bottom, so it'll build the bottom layer and works up. So these things, when they're being built, tend to move around a bit because there's no supports on it, the frame. So then you might end up with a little bit of leeway in it, and yeah, you do have to do some holding of it. And elastic, or like you say, the middle basket might be better just to do the middle basket first then, or second.
Yes.
So I just let it sit for a while. And that's your building. To put the wheels on, depending on how you want to paint your things, like if you want it the same color as your frame, like on this side, where I've painted it the same color, you could glue it on earlier, and then you can paint the frame. And these wheels, I used a black paint. I tried a Sharpie. You can't quite get into where the wheels go in. You can't quite get in there. So I just took a black paint and a small brush. So that's not overly difficult, or you can paint them afterwards or glue them on, like paint them and glue them on. I don't think it matters too much. So I just put them so that they're underneath the basket. And I haven't measured this exactly, so, but yeah, just underneath the basket, because you want to, in theory, when this is heavy and full of stuff, you want all the weight on the wheels. So
Maureen, I was just thinking that it'd be fun to make like a tiny little handle at the top for each tray. Not that, I know you could just pull it even in real size, but it would look really cute if there was a little handle maybe on the top. We could probably find something in our
I think
in
you'd
our,
have to find something because, that's part of the,
oh, no, I'm not asking you to do it. That's not what I
no,
meant. I'm
but I
just,
mean, I did look at the ones that have a handle. Now, what I did for printing this, because you have all the different pieces, it was printed without what they call without supports.
Mhm.
If you look at what we got from Ruth Stewart with the glues and that, they're all held together with
Yeah,
a
I know what you mean.
little brim and support.
So you can hold it when you paint it. Yeah, yes.
You can hold it when you paint it. And then when you print it, it can print. The machine can print. If you had a handle coming up here and going off on an angle, there is no support for that.
Oh, no, I just totally hear
So
you.
you would
Yeah.
have to have supports going all the way up because the printer's got to print onto something. It just
Exactly,
can't
yeah.
print in space.
I'm sure we can find something in our,
Yep.
stuff that we can make it look like it.
Yeah. No.
Maybe even a piece of two staples that we paint together, glue together. Who knows?
So while that's dried and before we get on to painting, I did a series of experiments here this afternoon because just got sidetracked with life these days, and just used some of my, I'll call it, instead of laser poop, I have 3D poop. As, so, you get different basket sizes as I learned. So what I did is I took my surface primer and tried that. Online, people talked about using Mod Podge, which I guess everything you're seeing in mirror in there. So you can use Mod Podge as a base, as a primer. Another one had using like a Minwax polyurethane. So I had this satin varnish and I thought, well, we'll give it a try to see if it'll soak in and smooth. So basically the key item you're trying to do is making a smoother surface to paint on for the first coat. And then I went and did without and just used paint. What I found is that the Mod Podge worked almost as well or just as well as the surface primer.
Interesting.
Okay, it smoothed out the feel and you don't see as much of the lines of the printer. It's
What
not
type of
perfect,
mod-
but it works about the same as that. So I'm sure almost everybody has some sort of Mod Podge. So I'd recommend trying a little Mod Podge on especially on the frame and seeing what and put some paint on it. See if you like it. The joy of plastic is if you don't like it, and we're using all acrylic water-based things, just go wash it, clean it up, and all the paint comes off.
Maureen, what kind of Mod Podge did you use?
I used a matte version.
Okay, just the matte sealer or?
Yeah, matte sealer, water-based glue sealer and finish.
Yeah, there's so many different types.
Yeah,
of
there are too many different
Okay.
ones. So I just used that and I found that helped in giving, on my samples, seemed to give a smoother finish, as smooth as finish as what this primer does.
Just a
And-
hint, Maureen, for the Mod Podge, you can buy it at Dollarama. And
Yep,
so you
and
can
that's
just get
what I
get
was
a
going to
small
say
bottle.
next.
Yeah, so you don't have to go out and buy a great big huge bottle at Michael's or someplace. You can go to Dollarama and get it. And they've got
Yeah.
they've got matte, they've got gloss, they've got all sorts.
You're going to paint over it, so I don't, like, I envision my cart to have a glossy finish because metal typically is a glossy, or like at least a satin glossy finish. So, I don't think the base, you're going to paint over it with your acrylic, so I don't think it really matters, but I had a matte handy that I bought at the dollar store because that's where you buy things. So with the super glue, mine is holding tight. I can't turn the baskets. So it worked quite well, but I did this when I used tacky and it just sat, like I glued it each piece and, let it sit for probably 45 minutes to an hour, and then let it sit overnight, and it was solid. The quarter scale people, you all got a bunch of little metal beads. My dollar store item that I found at one of their, get 4 or 5 types of beads. You got quite a few because these beads are not all uniform size. And if you're like me, I pour 5 or I pour 6 or 7 on the table, and I end up with 4 that I can actually find. So you're going to have to sort through those to pick through 4 ones that are similar size for your wheels. But I thought they would work quite well as for the quarter scale wheels, because I can't make anything that small to print. So couple of things for painting. I'm going to use the Mod Podge as my base, and I'm just going to paint one, the one I did earlier. For the quarter scale, I did try painting a quarter scale.
Oh, it's so cute.
I did not sand it. I just thought I'm going to see what happens. You're going to have to do a bit of sanding on the around the edges of the quarter scale. The baskets inside are a little rough. That's the best the printer can do. I would suggest that you paint the tops or the inside of the basket and the bottom of the basket before you glue it. Don't get glue on the other, because as Tina pointed out, in quarter scale, even a layer of paint can mess up the size.
Can you hold it up so we can see it probably? Oh my God, it's tiny, tiny.
It's tiny.
Yeah, very cute.
I was amazed my printer could do this. So
yeah.
So
yeah, so you glue it in the same fashion. In the case of quarter scale, I just used regular tacky glue because I was too afraid to use super glue and end up wearing this as a permanent fixture on my fingers. So that's what I was doing. So, and again, you'll have to do some sanding and try to make it smooth. There's not much, I don't know how on the inside of the baskets you could make it look, smooth it up. So you may have to put like a little doily or something in there, or it's just going to be covered with craft stuff and nobody's going to see the bottom anyhow. So that's kind of the main things. There are lots and lots of videos online about how to paint 3D items. For my stuff, it is a PLA or FDM machine, which may have some slightly different views of what to do than a resin base like what Ruth Stewart and like Tina has and other people in the club have. But there's lots of hints. You want to look at miniature gamers guns like your Dungeons and Dragons, D&D.
oh,
Those are where you learn about how do you make the different different things you want to paint. What do you want to look like? What to put black wash on, white wash, how to put the bases on. They primarily do use some of that's where I got this surface primer recommendation, and it does work. Just if you're not going to do a lot of 3D stuff or 3D with the FDM printer, it's an expensive bottle to buy. But online, they got a lot of examples of what you can paint, what kind of things you can print, because there's lots of websites out there. A big one is called Thingiverse, so Thing, I-V-E-R-S-E. And you go in there and you can type and you can get, I'm experimenting with something else, was a Cricut machine. I don't think you can.
What kind of machine?
A Cricut, like the Cricut maker.
Oh, right.
Okay, so it's one of
that's
those, and I don't think you can there we go. You can see the inside, how it's done.
cute.
That's really good.
So it's quite neat. the way the bottom was designed in this one, it didn't have a flat bottom. It had like 4 little legs and it kind of curved in the center. So you can see how the bottom
Mhm.
did not work well. And so I have to go back and fix it. And I just found this one online on Thingiverse. So it's free for me to print. I'm not sure if it's free for me to print for others. I'd have to look at what the rules are, or, you know, that type of thing. So I'm not accepting orders at this point in time, but I'm playing with it because that would be another neat thing in the,
What is it exactly? I'm sorry, I'm not sure what
it's
I'm
a
looking at.
cricket maker. Like, remember when Jillian came in with the machine?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, just a miniature. Yes, got it
It's
now.
just a
Sorry.
miniature
Yeah,
version
yeah,
of
yeah.
that. So,
So adorable.
so there's many neat things to find online, and go online for how do you print, just like we do for many miniature things. How do you make this out of clay? How do you make that out of clay?
Mhm.
And what
That's
you can
great.
do with Fimo to make things. So basically, I'm just going to be coating the item with the Mod Podge just to give it a help with the paint. It will take a while to dry, is what I find. So I'm going to paint the top. And what I do is you want to spread it thin for the first layer. You know how Ruth Stewart talked about going over it a couple of times to get rid of bubbles?
Mhm.
You have to do the same thing with this plastic, because again, it's not like wood. It doesn't absorb, and like paper and things, plastic doesn't absorb things, right? That's why we have all sorts of plastic things out right now with the snow and your shovels. So, yep, so it's basically paint. And you choose your color for what you'd like as to finish your cart. There isn't much else to this. I will send out the notes of where I put my baskets, but you know, that's a personal choice. You may want to think about what you're putting in the baskets for the height in between the two.
Would make a cute plant basket, a plant stand, plant wagon.
Yes.
Ah,
Yeah, you could, you know, you could make a slightly different frame, possibly to have it do that, like the 3 steps. But yes, it would, or else even this one, you could just glue the baskets off balance because you're not putting any weight in it really.
Exactly. Yeah, that'd be cute.
That would be cute.
Maureen, this is Lucille. Could I ask a question, particularly
Sure.
about the quarter scale? What do you have any comments to make about putting the items in the carts before or after assembly?
I would, first, my thoughts were to paint the pieces totally first. And then as Tina pointed out, it was, you know, the paint will get in the way. So yeah, I would suggest that you would paint the inside of the baskets and even the bottom of the baskets. And you could put all your items inside the basket and then glue it in place and then paint sort of the outside frame.
Yeah, but you have to watch that you have enough space for when you put it back in, right?
Well, no. So what I'm saying is just the, here. So I would paint this inside part of the basket. I would leave all of this to be painted after you glued. You could paint the bottom of the basket because you don't put any glue on that. So you're painting bottom, you paint the inside, you put your goodies inside the basket. So I'm going to put my various quarter scale things in here. I'm going to glue it in. Then I'm going to glue this basket. As you can see, it's the wrong size, but I'm going to glue the basket in my frame. And then I'm going to paint just all the outside and the actual.
Yeah. But
frame
what I
part.
meant was when you put the ones in the middle and the bottom, you have to make sure that whatever's on it has enough space between the
Yeah.
between that
Yeah,
one
then
and the
that's
next shelf.
important for what you're thinking of doing, even for the, you know, 1-inch scale size. You want to make sure And that's why the baskets, I built it the way, you know, because I could have put something to possibly hold the middle cart, but, or the middle basket, but I didn't, you know, it's, none of us have, you know, each of us have different things that we want to put in the basket.
Yeah.
And which sizes will be what you
The
need
one,
for
the
size.
ones that you buy at Michael's in normal size, are they? Can you regulate the height between the
I
shelves?
don't know, I don't have one. I only
Because in
looked,
that,
Michael's was nice because they had all the dimensions on their website for the basket.
oh,
Baskets
cool.
and the size, the frame was this, the basket sizes were that. So
Mhm.
I tried to make it as close as possible.
But I guess we could, if we could wing it and say, oh, I want to have this one closer to that and longer
Yes.
space between this if you want to put some specific item there.
Yep. Because you may have, you know, you may want all your paints on top, let's say, so you want it, it doesn't have to be very big. The next layer below, maybe that's where you want to put more glues or, you know, some of your taller things.
Mhm.
So that is, you got flexibility, so you have to think about what you want to put in.
Yeah. There's so
And,
many decisions to make in miniatures. It's sometimes overwhelming.
yep, so it's just paint. Let this dry. So it's gonna, you know, I won't be able to put any of the, I may not be able to put any of the paint color on this one, but I paint it. I'm going to look at where do I want, is there any place I want to sand after this dries? And any place you sand, you're going to want to touch up with the Mod Podge.
So why would you sand after you paint?
What this does is this, I'm using Mod Podge to kind of be a filler.
A ground. Oh, I thought. Oh no, not as a
It's a
grounder.
filler
Okay.
to make the surface smoother
Yeah.
and for the paint to adhere to the plastic as well.
Okay.
But it's
I
to make it
understand.
a little smoother.
Oh.
And then, you know, if you see that there's spots where you want to touch it up,
You can.
you know,
feel
it's
it,
like when we do some of the laser kits, you do something and then you realize that you need to sand a little spot or,
yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, a little bit as you build it. So that's basically, that's all there is to this.
I actually thought it was more like a grounding thing, like a what is it called? A primer.
Yeah, it's almost, it is a primer. That's what I'm using this Mod Podge as. Because I was trying to find something that everybody has, or most everybody will have some, rather than buying the other,
Yeah.
which, and when on my little test pieces here, there isn't anything substantially different. And I got some of my other family members to look and get their opinion too, to make sure that they're, you know, they say, yeah, that's the best. And this worked not too bad at all. So
You can probably use those little square things for something like, I don't know,
they're
a little.
trays.
Yeah, make them as little trays, or like even the background for putting like a picture on it and sticking it around so that you have, I don't know.
Yep. I've got a few pieces of laser poop or 3D poop kicking around. Some of it's testing, you know, like how does the paint work on it? Because it is, you, as much as I watch the videos online, you know, you got to, so it does help to have sanded, and this does help make it a smoother surface. I did find that it took probably, if you want a good coating and little smoother, it's 2 to 3 layers of paint. One layer being your primer. So
Maureen, is there anything we could spray it with? Is there any?
you can spray it with what Doug suggested, there is automotive primer, but it is thicker for something like what we're working on here. It's a pretty big object. I've made, and I haven't done anything with these yet, but these are quarter scale chairs that I've shrunk. Now, if I sprayed the automotive primer on it. Or you know, you maybe just a regular, or a regular paint, you would lose, if it's a thick substance, you would lose the
Definition.
detail in the
Yes,
chair.
that's, yeah.
But you know, people who have airbrush, that's the way to, you definitely spraying helps a lot. I don't have airbrush. In the winter, I can't do a lot of, I don't have a place to do spraying, use spray paint.
Right.
But spray paint is by far, if you're good at it, gives you a very smooth surface.
Yeah,
Make it-
or an airbrush, like if you have a
Or an
little thing,
airbrush. I don't have those, I don't have that technology.
The stores that sell gaming stuff, they have a spray paint primer for the little D&D characters and little plastic guys and stuff. But again, as you say, you've just got to be really light with it. You can't be too heavy-handed.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it blots all the detail.
Yeah, and you know, for something like this, it's the detail, there isn't detail, really.
There's
Quarter
also when you
scale does
spray,
get into small where there is detail, but this is a pretty basic surface. And like I say, the chairs here, the quarter, you got to be really careful how you spray, how you paint, or you lose.
yeah, when you
you'd have a
spray with
chance to lose
a can, you actually often have running issues. It's
Yeah.
really hard to.
I'm
It's
not,
really
I'm not
hard to regulate.
coordinated enough to do it, so I don't.
That's why an airbrush is better for miniatures. But if you
So
don't have
those are
it,
the
then
kind of things that I've been printing.
the wheels are really cute too.
I took, so it's a dragon. The
Wow.
glass slipper workshop that was on Splintered Fairy Tales. I'm in the process and almost have it done. I've changed it over into I call it the Knight's Rack. It's all swords and medieval weapons in it. So I've got my own weaponry sitting at home here. So I'm just building it. So at first I printed this thinking this was the right size for quarters, or you made a print. So there's one of your things that didn't fit. And then now I've made it, made a little guy. So those have been now, and this is where printing, going online, and I looked at what the 3D got, what the gamers do, D&D gamers do, and how to print it, or how to paint, because it's got a dragon in there.
Oh,
Those are the kind of things I've been fiddling with.
Yeah, those are cute.
It's fun. It's time consuming. I have a whole new appreciation for all of the work that Tina does in developing her laser kits.
Absolutely.
I have a whole new appreciation. So painting wise, I think the only final thing I can really say is, and I don't know if you can see that the top one is I put a satin varnish on the top one to give it a shinier,
yeah. Shows up,
compared
yeah.
to the bottom, and I don't
Yeah, we
think
can
it's
see,
catching
we
up.
can see that, yes.
Yeah.
So just to give you an idea of the finish, and this was just the dollar store Deco Art satin varnish. You can go glossy. I think glossy might be a little bright. Mod Podge works the same way, I assume. But I did that just to kind of, because to me metal should be a little shinier.
It's funny when you hold it on an angle like that, it looks like the inside of the color of the trays is a little bit dark, and it looks really cute, like a darker purplish.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so that's so this is the one where I did not use any primer on this. I used 3 coats of just your Deco Art paint, and it's pretty smooth. I needed to have sanded more on the sides here, but you know, that's kind of the finish you get on the 1-inch scale. I've been playing a bit with the quarter, and I didn't get enough time to fine tune, and not too many recommendations for that, but I'm newer to quarter scale than many of you are, so I think you probably already know lots of tricks.
You say Deco Art, is it any acrylic art you can?
Yeah, any acrylic.
Okay.
So your ceramic coat, the Deco Arts, the Americana, whatever is at Michael's, dollar store.
Yeah.
Don't use that cheap paint at Michael's. It is the worst stuff I've ever used. I threw it all away.
Oh, the
With-
Craft Smart, I think
The
it's called.
craft, yeah, the craft smart or whatever it's called. It is so, it doesn't, it's thin and thin, it's too thin. You have to put on 5 coats to make it cover anything. It's really bad. It isn't worth spending money on.
I sometimes use that to add color to my thicker paint.
There you go. That might be what it's good for. And the other thing, I do a lot of podgy or Mod Podge, I guess. Mod Podge is just the name of that brand, right? So it's acrylic medium, actually. They do recommend that you put a sealer on it, like your water-based varnish.
Okay,
Because with humidity, and I've experienced this on bigger items, like doing some boxes with decoupage and things. With humidity, it does get tacky.
okay,
So if you've sealed something with Podge, when it's dry, like days later, a clear coat of varnish will prevent it from getting tacky.
Even though it's at the bottom of the layers of paint?
well,
No, just, well, maybe, but especially if you use it for the top coat as well.
yeah,
Oh,
if
I
you use
see
it
what
for
you
the
mean.
top
Okay.
coat to get the
Mhm. That's good.
shinier.
That's good to know. Thank you, Sonia.
And it
What-
might not matter on that little thing, but I just wanted you to be aware that with humidity, which we don't have too much of, that's what happens.
So
Yeah.
with that, that reminds me of been doing a bit of research on painting the 3D items. And couple of gotten a couple of different things. It seemed it doesn't hurt to put a sealer on your 3D items. Some of them, especially the ones that are UV based, could maybe change color over time, and I don't know how long over time is. So
Are there any sealers without acidity? Because usually it's the acidic part of it that makes it yellow.
that I
Yeah.
don't know, but you know, it was a lot of the, because I ordered a couple of things in quarter scale to 3D, and I don't know what printers they're using. Like, it is a resin base. I don't know what printers they're using, but all of them seem to say, after you finish painting it, seal it. Some of it is, could also be, like for this, if I was to take my nail and scratch it, you would peel the paint off.
Yes.
Okay, so sometimes, like by putting a sealant on it, you have less chance of damaging
It
all
doesn't
the
hurt,
hard
right?
work you put into painting.
Just
That's about all I got. Any questions? And if you
Thank
have any
you.
questions later, please call me.
Thank you very much.
Maureen. Yep.
And for the people who, a few of you who are delayed in delivery, I just got a box from Liz West today. I have not opened it. And I will be emailing everyone tomorrow. With our lovely roads, we'll probably wait a day or two to deliver things.
Maureen, Doug has a question.
Okay, Doug?
Hi, I was just wondering if you got my email.
Yes, I did. I will try to get a couple printed tomorrow and look at Thursday for pickup.
Oh, don't worry about it. Let me know when it's ready.
Okay, because yeah, it might be
Okay.
Friday. I've
No, that's
got a
fine.
few things going.
That's good. No, next week,
Yep.
2 weeks, doesn't
I
matter.
did, and sorry I didn't get the email to you. So you want the 1-inch size, 1-inch scale?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, just
Okay.
making sure.
thank you.
Okay. Any other?
I'm just wondering also, are there any other kits within the club or do we need to be going out and getting?
Oh,
Like,
for,
see, like this here, like the one you've done tonight. That was done within the club, right?
yes.
Yeah. Is there any other ones that we have that I could pick up or get a hold of? Or-
I
Cheryl
don't
had
have
the-
any other, but Tina,
Yeah, I can answer that, Doug. There's 2 more workshops coming up this year.
Yeah,
Next month, we'll be doing a sink. And actually, I'm gonna try and walk you through how to make case furniture.
oh, okay.
Generally, the project I will use as an example is a sink. But if you want to make any kind of furniture, which is basically a box, so whether it's a bookshelf or a kitchen cabinet or a desk, they all kind of, the way that you actually plan to make them is about the same. So that'll be coming up in a month. And as soon as I've got I don't want to actually, well, I'm still trying to debate whether or not it's going to be a kit or whether it's going to be, here's how you make it to fit your own space. Maybe both. I'm not sure yet. But anyway, you will know no later than the general meeting, which is coming up in what, 2 weeks? 3 weeks? I don't know. Anyway, the general meeting is usually when we do show and tell for what the kits look like. Then the last workshop of the year is an overstuffed chair that Marg will be doing. And Marg, are you still here? What's your plans for that?
It's going to be not really a kit as much as I'll have patterns that I can give people, and the actual workshop will show people how to build a chair out of material that they would produce themselves. Like whether they want to use cardboard or foam core or whatever.
Might even make Mark a couple of samples by then, since I'm a
Yeah, I was going to have a bunch of samples made up and stuff like that. And Sunny, are you going to do some cardboard ones?
Yeah.
Okay, that would be good, really good. So that's what that kit is. But also, Doug, I did an easel if people wanted to have an art studio.
Oh, yeah.
So Tina, depending on what scale, there was a 1/4 scale and a half or a 1-inch scale. So if you want that kit, I think, Tina, what were you selling the 1-inch scale
Oh
for?
gosh, I have no idea.
I think it was $4 and the 1/4 scale was $2.
Yeah, I think it's right. Yeah. And there was also
the kit, if Tina doesn't mind cutting you one, then the instructions are on
in a video on a website.
So the instructions for that kit are there, but I don't think there was any other kits.
Yeah, there was the one from Cheryl Schofield, the little cutting board, but it's not really a kit. It's more like a ruler and a cutting board.
Well, we haven't figured out a time for that yet. There is going to be a place or a time that we will do it probably as part of one of the chat sessions. But
Isn't that a paper cutter?
Yeah, what's it called? The green cutting pad.
Fiskars paper cutter.
Yeah.
But I haven't talked to Cheryl about it recently, so I don't know exactly what the status is of that. But we do try and if there's a kit available, Doug, it almost always goes out as an email to everybody. Asking if they want it, to order it and how to order it and how much it costs and all the bits and pieces. I mean, it's not, we don't keep secrets about it, that's for sure. We do try and make sure that everybody's aware of it. So just keep an eye on your email. If you miss it in your email, there's not much we can do to help you on that.
No, okay, that's fine. No, that's good. I'm just wondering if there was some, that's all.
Yeah, no problem.
Good.
So is everybody else also having a snowstorm around them?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. It's
Oh my
a
God,
little blizzard here.
It's unbelievable. We're at the
My
almost at the
world
end
has
of April.
turned white.
19th of April.
Yes, big snowstorm in Calgary.
Really,
Doug, if you're interested in that easel, you could just send Tina an email.
Yeah, I can cut you a kit and the video's up on the website.
I can get that. I can do that on the, is that in the club news?
It's on the workshop was recorded and it's on me's website, the club's website.
Okay, I'll find it.
Yeah,
have you been on our website?
Pardon me?
Have you been on our website?
Yes.
Okay, because there's a whole bunch of videos in there on how to make different things.
Different things. Okay, I'll go there then. Thank you.
Doug, are you in Edmonton?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay, wow. Interesting. Well, welcome to the club, by the way. I've never seen you before. Yeah, I don't know if it's their first time.
Yeah.
No, it isn't. He's been
That's
here
fine.
many times.
Oh, okay. I must have missed him. All right.
Well, that was great, Maureen. Thanks so much. Really appreciate
you.
it. And for everybody jumping in and giving their suggestions, it was really terrific.
Great, glad to. And like I say, if you have questions, just email me or call me.
Will do.
I'll try to help, but
It's so
think about
cute.
what you're putting in.
That's cute.
Oh, fancy. You got it done and painted?
Well,
That
it,
looks
it looks a mess from here. It probably looks better from there. Just need to sand it, do another coat. The wheels though, I used the pins.
Yeah.
I had some, oh my
Oh,
God,
yeah.
they're just adorable. They're
Can you hold
perfect.
it up a little bit so I can see the wheels?
They're in the little bowl. Can you see them in the bowl?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
And so I,
Sorry, Kathy, I just spotlighted you. Put that up again
Okay.
so people can see it better. Oh, yeah.
oh, wow.
and so I had a silver felt pen and then I have a black artist brush pen. So I did the
Awesome.
wheels with the things I inherited from my mother.
Awesome.
Mhm.
They really look
It
good,
looks
don't
really
they?
good.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
so cute.
I know. They look so real. It's awesome.
Yes. And so
Yeah.
I did this to match. I have one the same in my mini room. See, my shelves don't match, but my story is, because that was an accident, I can put taller things on the second shelf.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. Exactly. Mm.
You're so smart.
Because I do think the ones in real life can actually be adjusted to size. I think
Yeah,
so.
they can.
Sure.
Some of them.
Some
Awesome.
of the brands do, but I don't know.
Looks great.
It's just so cute.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
And it's a whole new world, painting plastic, because that's really not something we've done.
Yep, and I'm, like I say, I'm learning that one, so anything people discover, it'll be good for chats to what can we do?
Mhm.
Thanks, Barb. But yeah, it is to make it better, because like I say, I was just testing out things here to try to make it, see what I can do.
Yeah, you
Awesome.
did a good job,
You
Maureen.
did a good
Thank you.
job. We
Yeah,
love it.
thanks a lot. That was really good.
Yeah,
Really
thank you,
good.
Maureen.
Thank you so much.
Now, do I
All
need to
right.
make it look as junky as the one I have here? Like rolls of paper towel hanging off, Lysol wipes, like.
Well,
Whatever
you
makes
know,
it-
a craft
whatever makes
room
you
should
happiest.
only be a mess, otherwise
Yes.
it's not in use.
Yes.
Oh, this is funny. This is not how I like everything organized. And then when I sit and work, everything has to be organized and all tidy. And then I can mess up on my table, but I can't think if everything is a mess around me. I
Oh,
just
no.
can't. We're so
Mine's always
different. right?
3 projects.
Yeah. Anyway. Oh, this was fun.
Okay, if there's nothing else, or anyone have anything else that they want to add or mention? No? Well, again,
I
many
just was gonna say, somebody mentioned that Craftsmart paint was bad because it was thin. But what I find is if you take something and stir it really well from the bottom, because if you shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, it's still kind of wet at the top. But if you stir it, it seems to be actually not bad.
Oh,
So
good.
if you have some, don't give up too quickly.
Thanks for the tip.
Yes, thanks.
I found some beautiful paint. It's called Studio and it's by Claudine Helmuth. And I bought it at somebody's sale. It was a craft sale. And I can't find it. I think she must not make it anymore. But if you ever see it, it's the best paint.
Oh, nice.
It's called
Have you
Studio.
looked online to see if you can get it anymore?
Yeah, I've searched. I've
Ah,
searched.
it sucks
And-
when you find something you really like and you can't find it anymore.
And then I did find some paint. It was called Studio. And I thought, yes, That's it. Studio acrylics.
But it's not the same.
It's not the same. It's not the same stuff.
Ah,
This stuff was by Claudine Helmuth. Yeah.
How do you spell that?
HELLMUTH. Claudine Helmuth.
Okay,
Yeah.
keep our eyes open for you.
Yeah. Yeah. If you ever see it, even at some garage sale, buy it.
Okay.
That's my take on paint. Yeah.
Thank
That's all I
you.
know. That's it.
While we're talking, when is the show in Chicago?
Oh,
Next week.
I was gonna say it's coming right up. And did somebody say that what's her name's going or selling, has a table there?
Tony.
Tony.
Yeah.
oh, does
Yeah,
she?
if you go and look on the website, she's listed as a dealer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she's going.
her information is all there. Yeah.
Oh, that'll be exciting to hear. She'll have to come on Zoom and tell us when she gets back.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
never
well-
comes on Zoom though.
Yeah, but
We'll have
oh,
to
she
ask
has
her.
the odd time.
Yeah, we'll have to ask
So,
her.
Yeah,
Is our show going ahead in September then?
Well,
Or
it looks
still-
very promising, Karen. I talked to Maureen this afternoon, and she had, I think, 2 or 3 more confirmations. Bob Francis said he'd certainly come,
Good.
and a couple of other people. So Maureen feels that we have enough people, enough vendors to put on a show. The other question is, do we have enough volunteers from the club who are willing to help man everything? So
I need
that's our next step
check
to
it
find
then.
out. But as for dealers, it looks really good.
Good.
Okay, one last thing, guys, one last thing. It is the 19th today. On the 22nd, our survey closes.
Yep.
So please, if you have not
Oh, the
completed
survey.
the survey, go and do it before the 22nd because it'll,
Okay,
and then we can have it analyzed and ready for discussion for our May general meeting. And
thanks for
that-
reminding.
That might inform us too about how people are feeling about face-to-face stuff.
And I've
Okay.
sent out that link to the survey a couple of times, so you should be able to find it in your email.
All right, thank you.
The Calgary train show was supposed to take place, I think, this month, but it was canceled because they didn't have enough volunteers.
Oh, sorry.
What a shame.
Too bad.
Yeah, well, like I say, that's our next step is to see if we'll be able to have enough volunteers. So
Mhm.
we'll have to see what's going to happen there. But
Yeah.
okay, well, thanks again, Maureen. I'm going to say goodnight if there's nothing else. Thank you, Tina, for
Yeah, me too.
leading us again in this Zoom
Okay.
session. We appreciate every week that you do this for us. We
Yeah.
couldn't be doing this
Yeah.
without you, so thank you
No.
so much. It's greatly
Okay,
appreciated.
I'll have the video link up sometime tomorrow and I'll send it out for you, okay?
Sounds
Yeah.
great.
You guys,
Good
thanks,
night,
Joanne.
everyone. Yep,
Okay,
thank you very
bye.
much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Maureen.
Bye.
Night.